Good morning. Good morning, students. Today, let me introduce myself. I am CG Lakshmi Prasad, Assistant Professor of English, working at Government Degree College, Atmakur, Vanaparthi District. Today, we are going to discuss or learn about verbs and tenses. And it's going to be introductory video, and there will be some more videos on tenses. Tense or tenses, you must have heard many times, and you must have thought that it will be very difficult task in English grammar. But remember, unless you master tenses, you cannot learn full grammar, or you cannot speak English fluently or correctly. So tense, what is tense? Tense is a time described by a verb shown by its grammatical forms. There are three tenses in English, namely present tense, past tense, and future tense. And there are four other aspects for each tense. What is aspect? Aspect is there are also different kinds of tense within each main tense. That means in present tense we have four other aspects, past tense we have four other aspects, future tense we have four other aspects. Like that, we have four aspects in each tense that will become 4 into 3. That is 4 3s are 12 tenses are there in English. These are found by adding, and how these aspects are differed. And we add helping verbs or auxiliary verbs such as be and have before the verb, as well as changing the form the verb, that is main verb, particularly in present tense and the simple present tense and past tense. What happens, even in present perfect tense given. See there, these are the four aspects. I give, present tense. I have given, perfect tense. I am giving, present continuous tense. I have been giving, present perfect continuous tense, are all in present tense but have different meanings. This is called aspect. Different meanings in the sense, particularly regarding the action, where it is taking place, when it is taking place, how long it is going on, or how long it has been going on. So these are the things that is addressed by aspect. There are four aspects in each tense, namely simple, progressive, and progressive is also called continuous tense, and perfect continuous tense or perfect progressive. Now let us see all these tenses and aspects. We have three tenses I have told you before: present tense, past tense, future tense. These are tenses. And as far as aspects are concerned, we have four aspects, that is simple, progressive, perfect, perfect progressive. Suppose see simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense. In the same way, sorry, present, simple present tense, simple progressive tense, simple perfect tense, present perfect progressive tense. In the same way, simple past tense, past progressive, past perfect, past perfect progressive. Then simple future, future progressive, future perfect, perfect progressive. Let us take one verb and how it has changed from one tense to other tense. First we'll take present tense. In present tense we have four aspects as a simple present tense. In simple present tense we use a simple present form, that is right or rights depending upon the subject. Okay, that we will discuss later videos. Just you see that it is right or rights, that is v1 or vs. Then in progressive what happens, B form plus verb being form. That is in B form we have three present B forms. That is, am, are plus writing, verb plus ing form. Then in perfect tense we have has or have. Has or have plus V3 written. In the present progressive we have has or have been plus verb being form. So in this way we have four aspects in present tense. In the same way, past tense also we have four aspects. In simple past tense we write V2 wrote. In progressive tense, same thing, be form plus ing form, but in be form, in present tense we use is, am, are, but here we use was, were plus verbing form. In perfect tense also same thing, have form, that means has, have, but here we use had plus written, had plus v3. In the same way here, in place of has, have, we use had plus been plus verbing form. In future tense, we add will plus v1, and there is no vs. Okay, yeah, like in present tense, we have v1 or vs, but in future tense, we don't have vs. Will plus v1, will write. In progressive tense, we have will plus be plus verbing form. See here, we have is, am, are. Instead of is, am, are, we use directly be. Will be writing. In the same way, in perfect tense also, will have written. Will plus have plus v3. Then will have been writing. Will plus have plus been plus verbing form. Like this, we have 12 tenses. Okay, 12 tenses in the sense, 3 tenses and 4 aspects in each tense. Like that, we have 12 tense structures, we can say, and we will discuss in detail in the future videos. But before that, I would like you to understand uh, what is verb and how many types of verbs are there, and what kind of verbs are there, and all these things if you understand, it will become very easy for you to learn tenses. That's why I am not now going into present tense, past tense, where present tense has to be used, where past tense has to be used, and all those things I am not going to tell in this video. And here we are going to understand verbs, how many kinds of verbs are there, what types of verbs are there, how they can be used in tenses. All these things we are going to learn about verb. And what is a verb? Parts of speech. There are 8 parts of speech, and verb is one of them. And remember, verb is a very, very important word in the sentence. Without verb, there cannot be any sentence. Verb alone can become a sentence. Now, suppose I say sit. Sit alone makes sense. Okay, it can be considered as a sentence as well. Okay, but without verb, there is no sentence. So, what is verb? A verb is doing word. Doing word means some action word. Name of the action. We simply say name of something happening that shows an action, an event, or a state. And there are some words, some verbs which have no action at all. It is only a state. Suppose I say, I love you, okay, or I like it. Like, is there any action as such? No. Okay, I feel sick. Feel, Is there any action? It is only just a feeling. It is a kind of stative verb. We will discuss all these types of words. In those types of words, we'll try to understand, we'll try to learn all those types of verbs. But here you have to understand that verb is a doing word. That is enough. That itself will suffice. Sentence may either have a main verb or a helping verb. Remember, verbs are different types. Okay, in those different types, these two are very important types: main verb and helping verb. And what is the main verb and what is helping verb, these are also we are going to learn in couple of minutes. Okay, in other words, a verb is a word that informs about an action. So again, one more definition is, verb is a word that informs about an action, an existence of something, or an occurrence. Something has occurred, and that word indicates, or that word informs that something has happened, and some action is there. The verb is a main word in a sentence, and moreover, the verb is main word. No sentence can be completed without a verb, and there cannot be any sentence in English without a verb. The word verb derived from the Latin word verbum, means action. Let's go to the next slide. Types of words. Here we are going to learn about types of words. First type of verb is main verbs or action verbs. These are the main. Okay, that means there will be action in this verb. Action in this verb. These verbs are also called main verbs. Main verbs or action verbs are used to express action, something that an animal, a person, or a thing does. Okay, somebody does something. What is that something is called a verb. The monkey jumps. What is the monkey doing? It jumps. What does it do? It jumps. Rama writes poems. Rama is a writer. He is a poet. He writes poems. So writes is a verb here. And monkey jumps, jumps is verb here. And helping verbs. What are helping verbs? As the name suggests, helping verbs help or support the main verb. Okay, so it will be helping main verb, and helping verb may not have any meaning, any semantic meaning as such. They are only grammatical words. In other words, we see they are structural words. Structural words. They only help in constructing correct grammatical structure, and it may not have any meaning as such. Okay, when they are used as helping verb, and some helping verbs may be used as main verbs as well. Okay, they are linking verbs, that will be there. There we may have, suppose if I say I have a car, have has meaning here, but I have gone, there is no meaning for have. Okay, I have a car, have has meaning. So have here is working as a main verb, or it is also called possessive verb. Let us go to the types of helping verb. Helping verbs also we have two types of helping verbs. They are auxiliary verbs and modal verbs. In auxiliary verbs, we have three forms. Okay, these three forms are very important in tenses. Okay, they are be forms and do forms, have forms. Okay, these are very important. Be forms and have forms are very important because without be forms we cannot construct correct, like continuous tense. Continuous tense and even yeah, in continuous tense B forms become very important. Have forms are very important in perfect tenses and perfect continuous tenses, and do forms are very important in simple present tense and simple past tense, in negatives and question forms. Okay, when you want to say something in negative in present tense, suppose I don't like, so here do is very important. Or you want to ask a question, do you have a pen? So do is very important, but questions in negatives. But in statements, ordinary sentences, we don't use do forms. Of course we can use sometimes to emphasize. I say I do like it. Okay, I do I do you know I do I do homework. For example, I do homework. Do is a main verb. It's not auxiliary verb as such. But I do like it. That means you are emphasizing. I really like it. So do is here helping verb. Then modal verbs. Modal verbs are used to indicate our mood. Okay, so these are called modal verbs. Of course, will is used in future tense as well. Other than that, the other modal verbs are actually they indicate our mood. Will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, can, could. These are all modal verbs. Okay. Now let's go to the other types of verbs. Okay, there are so many other types of verbs. Stative verbs. Stative verbs means the word says state. It tells or it describes the state of the speaker. Stative verbs describe a state rather than action. So there won't be any action as such, but it tells a state or status, we can say. They aren't usually used in the present continuous form. And these verbs are used only in simple present tense, but not in continuous tense. Okay, verbs like think. Okay, we don't say I am thinking, I think. I love, I am loving. We don't say I smell, it smells. We don't say it is smelling. Or I have a car, I am having a car. We don't say. So like that, we can use these things. I don't know the answer. I don't know. We cannot say I am knowing. We cannot say because it is a stative verb. She really likes you. I have a car. So these are the verbs which we cannot use in continuous tense. These verbs always should be used in simple tense. You can use it in a simple past tense as well. We can say I had a car. Okay, I liked her. Okay, maybe 10 years ago I liked her. I didn't know the answer yesterday. I didn't know the answer, but I now know the answer. Whatever it may be, you cannot use it in continuous tense. It can be even perfect tense, or sorry, perfect continuous tense or a continuous tense. You cannot use these words in continuous tense. You don't have ing forms to these verbs. Okay, to be more precise. Then we have linking verbs. What is a linking verb? A linking verb is used to re-identify or to describe its subject. So what does it do? It describes the subject. It tells what the subject is, or we can say it links the subject and the complement. Okay, subject and the subject complement, we say subject and complement. They are one and the same. Remember, object is different from subject. What is object and what is subject? Suppose I say I bought a car. I is subject, bought is verb, car is object. I am a teacher. I is subject, am is verb, a teacher is not object. It is a complement. Why is it called a complement? Because I and teacher both are one and the same. They are not different. But I bought a car. I is different. Car is different. They are two different things. One is a thing and one is a human being. Whereas here he is a teacher. Who is teacher? Teacher is no one but he. Who is he? He is no one but a teacher. He became a headmaster. See, not only be forms are used as linking verbs, there are even main verbs which can be used as linking verbs. He became headmaster. He became headmaster. Became here, linking verb because it is linking the same person. Whatever is there after the verb and whatever is there before the verb, these two are one and the same. They are not different. He, headmaster, headmaster is he. So it is just linking. It is just like equal to in mathematics. Okay, A is equal to B or X is equal to Y, like that. He is a teacher. He is equal to a teacher. He became headmaster. He is equal to headmaster. She seemed intelligent. She is equal to intelligent, like in mathematics. Such words which link the same person with different names, maybe, or different words, they are called linking verbs. Then let's go to another types of verbs, transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. What is a transitive verb? A transitive verb is a verb that can take a direct object. Like I told you, in the linking verb, we don't have object, we have a complement. But in transitive verb, we have an object and it should have an object. Without whatever the verb that takes an object is called transitive verb. In other words, the action of a transitive verb is done to someone or something. So if something is done, that the reaction of that action goes to someone. Most verbs are transitive, and most of the verbs they will be transitive, and there are so many intransitive verbs as well, but most of them are transitive. Like, very famous example, Rama killed Ravana. Rama, what did he do? He killed. It is verb. So because of this action, it affected whom? Ravana. So Ravana is object. They are different, you see. In the same way, Ramesh bought a car. Car is different and Ramesh. Ramesh bought. What did he buy? Immediately. Suppose if you say Ramesh bought and you stop there, the listener will ask, what did he buy? Okay. So it is not complete unless you use object. The sentence doesn't become complete. I eat biryani. Okay, I eat. If I stop there, somebody will ask, what is it? What is that you eat? So unless you say biryani or whatever, cake or payasam or whatever, unless you have to say something, then only sentence becomes complete. Let's go to intransitive verbs. An intransitive verb is a verb that doesn't take a direct object. In other words, it is not done to someone or something. It only involves the subject. Okay. An intransitive verb is a verb that doesn't take a direct object. It doesn't require any direct object. In other words, it is not done to someone or something. It only involves a subject. So subject is enough, and there is no need of object. Verb alone, subject and verb alone can become a sentence. Suppose you see here in this sentence, he fainted. That's all. There is no need of any object here. He snores. He ran away. Okay, these verbs do not take, away is adverb, but it is not object. Okay, these do not need any object. Such verbs are called intransitive verbs. Let's go to next type of sentences, finite verbs. Finite verbs. What is a finite verb? A finite verb is a verb that has a subject and shows tense. Here is an example. Now, that means with these verbs, we can understand in what tense the sentence is in. Okay, so there are these verbs, these finite verbs are tense markers. Because of them only we understand that this sentence is in so and so tense. Suppose we say John cooks carrots. So what tense it is? It is in simple present tense. How do we know that it is in simple present? Which word tells that it is in simple present tense? John doesn't tell. The word John doesn't tell that the sentence is in simple present tense. Carrots also doesn't tell that the sentence is in simple present tense. But cooks, it is vs form. So this tells that the sentence is in simple present tense. Why? Because it is a finite verb. So only finite verbs can tell you what tense the sentence is in. The finite verb is cooks, the subject is John, the tense of the verb is a present tense. It is known because of the cooks. The same way, there are other sentences. I have given you some examples. Rama is jumping with joy. How do you know that Rama is jumping with joy? You know that it is in present progressive or present continuous tense. How do you know that it is in present continuous tense or present progressive? Is because we have helping verb is and verb being form. These two words tell that it is in present continuous tense. So these are finite verbs. We saw a deer. So saw is verb to form. So it is in simple past tense. We tell stories at night. Tell is simple present tense. We won. She didn't like him. Didn't did. Okay, did is simple past tense. Okay, because it did is past form. I walked home. Walked is past tense. So simple past tense. We felt a little depressed. Again simple past tense. Like that, these finite verbs are verbs which decides or which indicates the tense of the sentence. So these are called finite verbs. And we have non-finite verbs which are contrary to finite verbs. Okay, so by this we understand that we use verbs other than for the purpose of tenses. So non-finite verbs are used in the sentences, and they are verbs actually, but they don't indicate tenses. Okay, a non-finite verb is a verb form that doesn't show tense. So they are not tense markers. In other words, you cannot tell if a sentence is in the past tense, present tense, or future tense by looking at a non-finite verb. Suppose if by looking at the non-finite verb, you cannot know or you do not know in which tense the sentence is in. Therefore, a non-finite verb is never the main verb in a sentence. So it is not a main verb. So remember, in a sentence there should be a main verb. A non-finite verb cannot make sentence. Only finite verb can make a sentence. Okay, and these non-finite verbs are three types. Mainly they are three types. One is gerunds. Gerunds is nothing but ing forms. Ing forms of verbs, or simply we can say present participle and present participle, and they should not be used as finite verb. Okay, they should be used. Suppose if I say I am singing, singing is finite verb. I am singing is finite verb. But other than main verb, we can use. Suppose if I say baking soda. Baking here is an adjective. Here we are using it as adjective, and in baking soda, baking is not indicating any action as such. It is called a gerund. Infinitives. Infinitives is two infinitives. We call two infinitives that means a two plus verb. These also do not indicate any tense. Okay. Participles, there are two types: present participles and past participles. Present participles means ing form, baking, singing, and all these things. Past participles, baked, sung, and all these non-finite verbs can function as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs, or combined with a finite verb for verb tense, and it can be combined even with the finite verbs so that it can become non-finite verb. See here, they are flying kites. This is a very classical example. They are flying kites. Okay, it's very interesting sentence. Okay, suppose if you consider flying as a finite verb, that is continuous tense, if it is considered as a verb, then the meaning of they are flying kites is different. If you consider flying as non-finite verb, the meaning is different. See, let us see the first type. They are flying kites. What are they doing? They are singing. In the same way, they are flying kites. What are they doing? They are flying kites. Okay. And if you consider flying as an adjective, okay, then the meaning is different. They are. What are they? What are they? They are seen in the sky. Okay, they are seen in the sky. Something is seen on the sky, and somebody will ask, what are they? They are nothing but they are flying kites. They are kites that are flying. They are kites that are flying. That is the meaning. So they are flying kites can be ambiguous sentence. So it can mean two meanings. It can mean two meanings. It can mean two meanings, and it has two meanings. Such sentences are called ambiguous sentence. And usually, because of this finite, non-finite only, ambiguity arises in the sentences. He likes playing football. He likes playing football. He likes is finite verb. Playing is non-finite verb. Okay. What does he like? He likes football. He likes playing football. He wants to play football. See here, he wants is finite verb. To play is non-finite verb. See, if you look at to play, or if you look at playing alone, if you look at flying alone without be form, we cannot decide whether in which tense these sentences are. See here, it is a dancing doll. Dancing is no, it is acting as if it is an adjective. Okay, but it is in the form of verb, but it is not a verb. Okay, verb is a finite verb here. It is a main verb here, and dancing is an adjective, so it is non-finite verb. And we have I have given you another example. I don't like skimmed milk. Skimmed, it is a past participle. Again, it is working as it is functioning as an adjective. It is functioning as an adjective. So these are all non-finite verbs which function as noun, adjective, or adverb. They are very interesting. Then now we'll come to the verb forms, action verbs. Okay, see here, I told you every verb, like I told you in the tenses, two types of tenses are very important. They are main verbs and helping verbs. Okay, and even in helping verbs, auxiliary verbs are very, very important, particularly in the structures of tenses. So, unless you learn these action verbs, sorry, forms of verbs, you cannot, totally learn tenses. Now, let us see. Every action verb has the following forms. Actually, you must have learned only three forms. Okay, in your school days, teachers must have taught you write, wrote, return, go, went, gone, like that. Okay, only three forms. They are called V1, V2, V3. What is V1? Present form. Present form. Right is present form, and it is also called V1. Then past form, wrote. Okay, this is also called V2. Then past participle, V3, return. Okay, this is V3. Then present participle verb ing form, writing. This is used in present continuous tense and also continuous tense as well as a perfect continuous tense. This is very important. And V3 is very important in perfect tense, and even in passive voice also it is very important. In passive voice, without V3 you cannot write any passive voice. Okay, so these forms are very, very important. Then we have to infinitive, to write. Actually, to write is not used in tenses as such, but it is used as an infinitive. But we should know that this is a form of verb. Okay, but actually it is not used in tenses. Then we have verb S form, that is writes. Okay, this is used in simple present tense. So these are very, very important forms of verbs. Then let's go to auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs, we have three forms of auxiliary verbs: be forms, have forms, and do forms. And again, in these forms, we have present form, past participle form, like in main verbs. Okay, let us now see B forms. B forms in present form we have three words, that is, am, are. In past form we have was, were. In past participle form we have been. And then why we have three forms in present form, is, am, are? Is, am, are singular forms. Actually, is alone is singular form. Are is plural form. Am is used only with I. Okay, I am a student. I am a teacher. I am his brother. I am her sister. Whatever it is. Am is used only with I. Whereas is used with the third person singular. That is, he is my friend. He is my friend. He is my friend. He is my friend. She is my friend. It is my friend. Like that we can say. It is my book. Whatever it is, they are called simple present tense. Then plural are is used with we. Okay, in first person we, second person you are my friend. Okay, we are friends, you are my friend, they are my friends, Rama and Krishna are my friends. Even in names, Rama is my friend, Sita is my friend, I am his friend, uh, we are his friends, you are my friend, they are my friends, Rama and Krishna are my friends. He was my. Then in past form again we have singular and plural. He was my friend. They were my friends. But in even I was there yesterday. Okay, you were with for you we get were. You were there yesterday. They were there yesterday, like that. In past participle been. Okay, yeah, this we use it in perfect tense. Okay, present perfect tense and past perfect tense, and even future perfect continuous tense, not perfect tense. Present perfect continuous tense, past past perfect continuous tense, and future perfect continuous tense. And we have forms. Have forms we have and has. Have is plural, has is singular. So for I, first person, we say I have. Okay, we say I have, you have, we have. But third person singular, he has, she has, it has, Rama has, Sita has. In the past form, we had for all, okay, had only. So there is no second word. I had, we had, you had, he had, she had, they had. In the same way, past participle also same word had, has, have, had, sorry, has, had, have, had. Then do forms we have do, does, did, done. Do, does are present tense. Do is plural, does is singular. But these do, does are used only in present. Simple tenses. Simple present tense only we use do, does. That also in negative forms and question forms. When you want to use a sentence in negative form, we require do or does. When we use the sentence, when you want to ask a question in simple present tense, you require do or does. Suppose you say, "Do you have a car?" Do you have a car? Does he have a car? Negatives. I do not have a car. He doesn't have a car. She doesn't have a car. They do not have a car. They plural. So we use do. You do not have a car, like that. Okay. So do, does are very important in negatives and questions. Then past form. Let us see the past form. This is did. It is used. It is again used in simple past tense. Like in a. So why do we need these do forms? Means when you want to ask a question, when you want to make a statement, a question, the rule is that you have to bring the helping verb at the beginning of the sentence. Suppose I am writing a letter. He is writing a letter. You want to make it a question. Is he writing a letter? Suppose you want to make it negative. He is not writing a letter. So after helping verb, you have to use a not. But in simple present tense and simple past tense, we do not have helping verbs. We simply say I play football. And what is the question? Do you play football? Okay. Does he play football? Okay. In the same way, I do not play football. He doesn't play football. Okay. In the same way, He did not play football. Okay, did he play football? Like that. The past participle of the verb is done. Okay, and I hope I have made you understand the types of verbs. Let us now just review whatever that we have done today. Tense, and we have understood what is tense, what is aspect. Okay, and we know that there are three types of tenses and four types of aspects for each tense. And then we have I have demonstrated the different types of tenses as far as aspect and tenses are concerned. Then we have I have explained what is verb, and with the different definitions. Okay, you know what is verb. And then types of verbs, we have two types of verbs. There are so many types of verbs, but a different conjugation. We have main verbs or action verbs and helping verbs. These are very important in framing tenses. Then we have stative verbs and linking verbs. Then we have transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. These transitive verbs, intransitive verbs become while using passive voice. Only transitive verbs take passive voice, and intransitive verbs doesn't take passive voice. Okay, this is a very important thing that we should learn. Then, then we have also tried to understand what is a finite verb and how a sentence can be determined in which tense it is. This is decided only by finite verbs. Then we have non-finite verbs. These non-finite verbs can be used as nouns, adjectives, and adverbs in sentences. And these verbs do not indicate the sentence tense. Okay, it doesn't say in which tense the sentence is in. So these are called non-finite verbs. Then we have I have explained different forms of words, and here once again I have to tell you we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs means the past tense ends with ed and the past participle ends with en. Yeah, but here the example which I have given is irregular verb. Usually you learn irregular verbs only: write, wrote, written. Okay, sing, sang, sung, like that. These three are just you add ing, so you get a verbing form, and just you add two forms, so it becomes to infinitive, and just you add s, it becomes s form. But sometimes the spellings becomes for example, watch, watches, watch, ch, whichever the word ends with a ch, you have to add es. In the same way, wife, okay, whichever word ends with sorry, that is different this one, that's not verb. Okay, as far as words and concern, watch, he watch, they watch tv, he watches tv, watches. So spellings sometimes you have to use different types of spellings, otherwise it's okay. Then where I have explained the forms of auxiliary forms of verbs, and the different present forms and past forms, past participle, singular, plural, and how they are used with different sentences. I hope I have made everything clear. uh, Thank you very much. Okay, and if you have any doubts, you can contact me through my mobile number 9440046786, or you can mail me at cglp1973 at gmail.com. And keep subscribe to my channel, and there will be many more such videos where you can learn English grammar easily. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.